This is my outline. And these are my speaking notes. This here is a gun. This is not only one of the most important things to me and my family, but one of the most important things to many Americans. So why is this even up for debate? The Second Amendment reads, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms." This is something that a lot of people are very passionate about and live and die for. So why are we even fighting for this? Well, today I'm going to tell you. First, an amendment is a right that every American is born with, and that is something that should not be messed with. It's something that everyone has always had here. Also, guns are our primary source of protection, and without guns, we as a country and me as a person are very vulnerable. Also, people are very concerned about violent people and dangerous people getting a hold of guns, but the steps you have to go through to buy a gun are very tedious, and they are very thorough in what you have to qualify for to buy a gun. And lastly, firearms prevent terrorism, and terrorism is all something that we are very scared of. So, back to the amendment. Why? Amendment is the one thing that every American is born with, like I said before. The Legal Information Institute states, under this individual right theory, the United States Constitution restricts legislative bodies from prohibiting firearm possession, or at the very least, an amendment renders prohibitory and restrictive regulation presumptively unconstitutional. So basically what this quote says is that taking away our guns is against the Constitution, and the Constitution is basically what America goes off of. Second, protection. Protection is something that everyone needs. We would be very vulnerable as a country and as a person. Think if someone has the intent to harm another person without a gun, that person has no way to defend themselves. So the people that are going to harm others now don't even have to worry about people having a gun to protect themselves with. This essentially is going to make the crime rate go through the roof. Then next, the steps for buying a gun. You have to go through background checks and all kinds of paperwork, and if you have any sort of flaw in your background check, such as a felony or any other bad things, that automatically rules you out for buying a gun. So this keeps guns out of bad people's hands from the get-go. This paperwork is also age restricted. You have to be 18 before you can even buy a gun, and you have to be 21 before you can buy a handgun for concealed carry. Handguns are what do a lot of the gun violence that we see today. These restrictions are here for a reason. That is to keep them in people that are responsible's hands, but also to keep them in a majority of America's hands to give them protection. And lastly, terrorism. Terrorism is a huge, huge problem. And if terrorists knew that we didn't have guns, what would stop them from being even more of a hassle? If a terrorist came and wanted to harm an area in the United States, if we didn't have guns, we would have no way to deter them. This way, they wouldn't have anything to fear but police or military, which aren't always around at that certain time. So, it makes us very vulnerable to them too. Firearms can be used as a intimidation factor. Intimidation is key because if they know that we're ready for them, then that's going to cut down on a lot of terrorism. So, what I'm saying now is stand up for your rights and your Amendment rights. And the second one, especially, this is the one that people are trying to get rid of. So stand up and do what's right. An amendment should not be messed with, and because this is an amendment, we use this as protection. The paperwork that you have to go through, and the fear factor of terrorism, keep guns and keep America the way they are.